Our O-line is overrated. Our O-line is overrated. Our D-line is overrated. Our run defense is way overrated. And our secondary gets torched every other game.
Not good. Believe me, not good.
If I were a Detroit Lions fan, I would feel pretty good about this matchup. But take a look at this list here. Here's a list of all the teams that have made it to the Super Bowl. If you notice, not a lot of dome teams. The Rams, if you want to call the Rams a dome team. Before that, you have to go all the way back to the 2016 season. The Atlanta Falcons, Seattle Seahawks, Indianapolis Colts, New Orleans Saints, 2001, St. Louis Rams. And of those dome teams I mentioned, none of them advanced to the Super Bowl by winning a championship game on the road. None of them got to the Super Bowl by winning a championship game on the road. They all did it with home field advantage in the dome. And that is not just a statistical anomaly or a quirk of fate. Teams are constructed to take advantage of their home field because that's where they play most of their games. So they're constructed to take advantage of their home field. And naturally, indoor teams lose a little bit of their advantage when they play outdoors. And maybe this is less apparent when you're playing Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears or the Minnesota Vikings in their dome. But it does become apparent. Historically, it becomes apparent when you face upper echelon teams in the playoffs. So what does it mean for this matchup? What it means for this matchup is I'm betting on history. I'm going to err on the side of history, right? I'm buying shares of Coca-Cola. Okay, I've heard your argument for Bitcoin and NFTs and monkey JPEGs. It's all very compelling. There are matchups that favor Detroit. There are absolutely matchups here that make me nervous. I don't like it. But I'm going to bet on history. I'm going to err on the side of history. I'm buying shares of Coca-Cola. I'm buying a fixer-upper in Merced, okay? It's haunted. There's a poltergeist. There's a crack den next door, trailer park, 2 blocks down. But I'm going to err on the side of history here. I'm betting on the 49ers, 34-24. 49ers 34, Lions 24.
Let me know, is there anybody who doesn't understand? Do you all understand? Yeah? Okay.
I want to make another prediction here. A lot of the 49ers content creators, Larry Krueger, Rob Stats Guerrera, Grant Cohn, on and on. They've all been calling for the 49ers to quote-unquote get back to 49ers football, which I presume means running the ball all the time. I don't think you're going to see that in this game. That is my prediction. My prediction is you're not going to see us run the ball like that unless we get a significant lead. It's not 2019 anymore. Our offensive line isn't as good as it was in 2019. And teams are selling out to stop the run. If you try to run it in that environment, this happens. If you're predictable and you run it on first and second down all the time, that's what you're going to get. And the notion that I've heard expressed is, oh, you're going to tire them out in the fourth quarter. Oh, no. What's going to happen is you're going to get stuffed on first and second down, and then your young QB is in a third and long situation. The last thing you want to do is put a second-year QB in a third and long situation. You don't want to put Tom Brady in a third and long situation, let alone Brock Purdy. Okay, because then you're 3 and out, and you haven't tired out the defense at all. Your defense is getting tired because you just got 3 and out.
It's not gonna work. It's not going to work.
So you cannot be predictable. You can't just run it on first and second down. That's not... You cannot take the risk of going third and long and then 3 and out. You can't take that risk. You can't go out like that. Maybe with Jimmy Garbaggio, with Jimmy Garbage Hobo, you had no choice. Like, whatever. With an average quarterback or above, you have to make the defense pay if they're not going to honor an aspect of your game. Okay, if they're not going to honor the pass, you have to make them pay. You have to. Otherwise, you're hurting yourself. That is my prediction. You're not going to see us run the ball every time unless we have a significant lead. And Christian McCaffrey's still going to get touches. He's just not going to get them. He'll get them in checkdowns or in the flat, which really is just a long run, a long handoff, if you think about it. That's what Bill Walsh and the 80s 49ers used to say. It's basically a long handoff. My one final prediction is that if the 49ers advance and the Ravens advance, it's going to be a phenotype war.
I'm not going to say what race, what people.
I don't want to say race. I'm going to say phenotype. It's going to be a phenotype war. Okay? All of the Tim Tebow fans, all the anti-Kaepernick fans, they're going to take sides. Okay? Even though Lamar Jackson is probably as conservative as they come. He's anti-jab, he's probably as conservative as they come. But that's why I say it's going to be a phenotype war. I'm not rooting for it, but I believe when the 2-week break and that 2-week Super Bowl hype machine gets rolling, people are tribal, and they're gonna get behind I believe. That is my prediction.